I'm Talisha Emerson, your shea butter pusher, and welcome to Morph Beauty's YouTube channel. So I am Talisha, owner of Morph Beauty, and last August around this time, I interviewed my manufacturer to give you guys a glimpse of the operations of Morph Beauty and the processes and who we work with, from our manufacturer to our supplier. And I've explained the process. And many of you know that I actually visited Ghana last year to meet with our suppliers, as well as to get a hands-on experience of the traditional way of making shea butter, and even tour the factory for the not so traditional way. So our raw shea butter, you can see here, is sourced from Ghana. And the benefits are amazing. So I replaced my lotion with shea butter long ago. I've been an avid user of shea butter for about 20 years, but especially in the past 3 years or so. So it helps with eczema, psoriasis. It has anti-aging property. It contains a lot of vitamin E, which Ken will expound on later. And it helps reduce stretch marks. It's a good moisturizer. So not only does it moisturize your skin, it has healing benefits. And Ken is our supplier. So Ken is currently in Ghana. He's taking time out of his evening to just chat with us. And he's our supplier. He supplies our raw shea butter and our black soap. So Ken will also expound on why our shea butter is so soft. Oftentimes when I'm at vendor events, people will stop and say, "Is that shea butter hard?" Because typically, shea butter is hard, or what they're used to getting is hard. But ours is extremely soft. If you can see here while I demonstrate, here, look at that. So soft, easy to get out of the jar, right? And not only is it easy to get out of the jar, it's easy to apply. So if you look at that, that's just right out of the jar, nothing done to it, no prep or anything. And see how easy that is to apply. So this is our raw shea butter. This is what we use to make our products. Our supplier, Ken, Kennedy Frimpong, works
Yeah.
with our manufacturer. They know each other very well and they work together very well. So the shea butter from Ghana is shipped to our warehouse. We make our products, and I even go into the warehouse and make the body butters. So that is our process. And again, we want to be transparent and to just show you guys what's going on, and even interview our key players. So now that you have seen and met our manufacturer, it's time for you to meet our supplier. Again, Mr. Kennedy Frampong from Ghana. So, Ken, my first
Yep.
question is going to be, how long have you been in the shea butter industry?
Thank you very much, Talisha, and thank you very much to the audience. Well, I've been in the shea butter industry or shea nut processing industry for the past 18 years. I would say that it's been an exciting journey of working in the entire shea value chain. And I would say that well, more or less, it's been an interesting journey. And having had people like Talisha coming to acknowledge what we have as a product and shipping it all the way from Ghana to the United States of America, and having tested our product compared to others, one would say that it's good for the skin, and it has so many benefits, as she mentioned. I would say that when you take shea butter as a product, it's extracted from a tropical plant called shea nut tree, or the shea tree to be precise. Out of it's a seasonal uh, tree, meaning that it bears fruits seasonally, which is collected by the women group, mostly women. And when they collect it, what they do is that they take it home, they break the hard shell and get to the shea nut itself. And then from there, they do what we call parboiling just to avoid it from germinating. And then from there, they dry it. And after drying, they do their own process, which is called the Aquarius method of shea butter extraction. Or one would say it is one, we would say the artisanal way of extracting the shea butter. But over the period, there've also been other method which has been developed, and which is the mechanical way of extracting the shea butter. And then we also have the chemical way of extracting the shea butter. One would say that the artisanal way or the Aquarius method is mostly handled by the women group. And then when you go to the industrial way of processing, there's a combination of the mechanical extraction and the chemical extraction combined. Some industries also choose to only use the mechanical way of extracting. Some industry also tends to use only the chemical way. But if you are looking for a higher yield, then one would expect you to use a combination of the mechanical extraction and the chemical extraction. Now, the best method that is able to retain the physiochemical properties of the shea butter, to be precise, the vitamin E, is to use the Aquarius method or the mechanical method of extraction. These are the two methods that one would say is considered to be organic shea butter. And what we supply to you is basically organic shea butter. The other is when it's processed with chemical like hexane is considered to be non-organic, and that is basically used only in the food industry. Now, I want to just do a little breakdown or explain further the disadvantages of using the Aquarius method of extraction. The Aquarius method, one, is quite labor intensive. Two, when they do the processing, because they use water as a heating or boiling agent to extract the butter, the women are not able to extract entirely all the water or the moisture in the shea butter. So what normally happens is that such shea butter, when it's sold or when you keep it over a long period, maybe 6 months and above, it starts going rancid. Rancid means that it's going bad. It gives you some what I call an offensive smell, which is not preferred by industry players. These are the two methods. And apart from that, also, it's labor intensive. There's a lot of processes that goes into extracting this shea butter. And sometimes when you see the women group even going through that process, you see how one would say that how tedious it is for them. And then in the mechanical process is a little bit easier, and that you don't even add any water to the extraction process. What we normally use is what we call the presses or the expellers. The expellers are just screw which extract or squeezes the shea nut to extract the shea butter. Now, before doing that, the shea nut is heated to a temperature of 100 degrees. And after that temperature, the shell cells begin to come out. And so by extracting it or by squeezing it with expellers, you bring out the shea butter, which in the first stage is what we call the crude shea butter. It's not yellowish in nature, but it looks brownish or blackish. From there, we go through a process of filtration. where we filter to remove any form of impurities. And out of it will come that yellowish shea butter that we are all looking for. But with a mechanical press process, there's also another process whereby we use a drying process, a vacuum dryer, meaning that we know that when you take shea nut, there is some residual moisture embedded in it. For instance, typical shea butter, a shea nut, sorry, would have, let's say, 6% or sometimes 8% of moisture. So when you process it to shea butter, you are likely to have about 2% of moisture embedded in it. But per industry standard, you are supposed to reduce this moisture to about below 1%. And in some industry where they are looking for a higher standard, they're going for probably 0.1%. So what we do is that we go through a drying process to extract or reduce the moisture to a barest minimum. And such butter is able to be on the shelf for a longer period. Ideally, the shelf life of such butter extracted mechanically is about 2 years minimum. So there are times that when you keep it well, it can even last for 3 years or 4 years, and you are able to retain the physiochemical properties of the shea butter.
Okay.
Because
Okay. So
yes,
when I came, I'm sorry. Go ahead. When I came,
yeah,
we pretty much, again, I viewed both processes, right? And so I started posting online my video snippets of the traditional way, and I had not started posting videos of the factory's way because it's
yeah,
like, you know what, I want to just kind of do something different here, and I want Ken to come on and explain the process first before I started releasing
yeah,
videos of
yeah,
my factory experience. So
yeah.
what made you choose this as a career?
Well, I think my background is mechanical engineering. Okay, my background is mechanical engineering, and one way or the other, it's maybe by divine plan or whatever, I found myself in the food processing industry. My first career was in the cocoa processing industry with a company called a multinational Barry Callebaut. And from Barry Callebaut, I found myself then in the shea industry. And then from the share, I've been in the share industry all these while. What excites me being in the share industry is the fact that at the end of the day, I am processing or bringing out a product which enhances the beauty of the African woman or enhances the beauty of the average human being. And it has so many benefits. So sometimes when you see people who have used the share button and you are recommending it, you get excited because you know, indeed, you are part of what is happening to the skin or the body of our women, or to be precise, the human beings. Yeah. So that is what excited me to be in this industry for over 18 years.
So not only are
Yeah.
you enhancing the beauty of mostly women, because shea
Yeah.
butter is used in a lot of cosmetic products,
Sure.
but we're also supporting women because mostly women and West African women are gathering the shea nuts and just kind of, going through the whole process. Even when it's factory made, women are
Yeah.
an integral part of that process. So like
Sure.
we're glad to be giving back in that way and just supporting in that way. So you
I would
mentioned,
mm,
go ahead, go
I
ahead.
would tell you I will tell you a little history how shea butter came to play. The when you go to the northern part of Ghana where there was no cooking oil, the shea butter was used as a mean. And even as we speak now, shea butter is used in some cuisines in the northern region. That is what they use to basically fry maybe some cookies, or some aspect of anything that need to be fried, or even in the food where they want to even fry maybe chicken or fish or anything of that sort, they use the shea butter.
And
So,
you
and then
even
from then
have
also,
a, mhm,
and even they use
sorry.
also for the skin. They use it for the
Uh-huh.
skin. And when they give birth to children, babies to be precise, it's shea butter that they use. They use it for their hair. So shea butter it's an integral part of every, let's say, Ghanaian. It's an integral part of every Ghanaian or West African, or to be precise, opening up maybe to an African woman. Shea butter has really captured the heart because it has so many applications. In the food industry, shea butter is of tremendous usage. When you also go to the cosmetic for the skincare, is also being used. And again, also in the pharmaceutical industry, it's also being used. So it has so many applications. Absolutely so many
Yeah,
applications. Yeah.
it does. I even as I sit here, like still rubbing the raw shea butter in, it's
Yeah.
like it's a good cuticle oil too. So it has so many uses, so many benefits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Not only that, I know you have a personal story of, your one of your kids as a baby having a diaper rash and just
Yeah.
shea butter healed that diaper rash.
Absolutely. And this is what it's really surprised me when my girl, my baby, had a nasty, diaper rash, and we have to go to one doctor to the other, and then buys one medicine to the other. And finally, my mom told me that, no, look, you got to use this shea butter to solve this problem. And amazingly, I used it, and within 6 days, everything went, and her skin became as smooth. So that is an experience, not only for the skin to be precise, but even for diaper rash. I mean, it has so many applications. One cannot, it works perfectly for what I call stretch marks in women probably who have lost weight, probably are giving birth. It works perfectly on stretch marks. It works perfectly on wrinkles. It has tremendous application. It's considered to be the queen. I wouldn't say king. It's considered to be the queen of any. There's no cosmetic product that can challenge shea butter because it has the highest vitamin E, composition in any butter that is used in any cosmetic product. Yeah.
So I mentioned early on how incredibly soft our shea butter is, right?
Yeah.
Why
Yes.
is it that some shea butters are hard and very hard to scoop out of the jar, and some, like mine, are soft and easily applicable?
Thank you. Thank you. When you take shea butter has so many fatty acid compositions. You can mention, or when you take fatty shea butter, it's like you see the air we breathe. The air we breathe has oxygen, it has carbon dioxide, it have nitrogen, it has argon and other traces of gases, which makes the air we breathe. The same way with shea butter. When you take the shea butter is a fatty acid, which when we break it down, you can have a fatty acid composition called like the stearine. Stearine that is extracted and used as cocoa butter equivalent in the production of chocolate. The same way you can also have what we call the oleic, the palmitic, linoleic. There are a lot of fatty acid. Now, there is one fatty acid which is considered to be the bad fatty acid, which is called FFA, free fatty acid. It is like putting all the fatty acid together, and there's some aspect of the fatty acid which break free of the chain. And when you have a high composition of this free fatty acid, which is called the FFA, it tends to make the shea butter of less value. The higher the FFA, the less valuable the shea butter is. And that is what makes that shea butter looks very hard when in application. So in most cases, when you are starting, the season commences. it commences with low FFA of the nut, which translates into low FFA of the butter. And such butter has very tender, one would say tender texture, to be precise. But when the FFA becomes higher, above maybe 15 and above, then the butter tends to look harder in application. So what you are holding, you are lucky, or we are lucky, that anytime we are sourcing for the shea butter, we source for shea butter with a low FFO of below 5%, so that we are sure that the butter we produce will always have a softer texture.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ken. I always love talking to you because you're long-winded, but you know a lot. And you're quite the historian, because I always say, like, when I came to visit Ghana, I don't feel there was any stone left unturned. And I love my experience there, and I'll be returning there. So my company, my travel company, which I'm developing in my spare time, as if I have any spare time, Flutter Journeys is going to partner with you when I return to Ghana, hopefully next year. So I love that experience, and just visiting the slave castles, which was very touching to me. Like, I didn't want to do the other one, because like the one we had visited was like, okay, this is enough. Like, I don't have to see anymore, because it was just that touching to me. And surprisingly, the other slave castle was the Portuguese slave castle. And it just helps connect all the dots, because that was the Portuguese slave castle. And when I went to Brazil, I learned that the majority of us were taken from Africa to Brazil, because I got there and I fit right in, and everybody looked like me. They had coarse hair, but they just spoke Portuguese. So everything just really came full circle, and it was a magical experience, and I can't wait to return. So I appreciate you taking out time out of your evening. I know it's like 10 or 11 o'clock there in Ghana, to just come on and put a face with my shea butter supplier. Again, More Beauty is trying to be transparent, and just values our product, values our brand, and just values recycling the dollar as much as possible. So I really thank you for taking out your time once again. Is there anything else you would like to say, or any other feedback that you have?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the season has started in the shea business. One thing that I forgot to tell you is that the shea season mostly starts from June and ends somewhere around November. The June, July, August is when they start picking the nut, to going through the drying process, and by August ending, that is when it goes to the market and they start selling, and processing also commences. That is on the aspect of the supply chain aspect. Now, on the issue of the tour that we had in Ghana when you last came to Ghana, I would say that unfortunately we're not able to tour a lot of places, because the time was short. So when you are coming the next time, you make sure that you have enough time, so that we have a lot of places to discover. Ghana is a beautiful country, no doubt about it. One of the most peaceful, country in Ghana. No doubt about it. We call it a gateway to Africa. So if you want to come to Africa, the first place you should look at visiting is Ghana. And next year, I hope to see you and your team to come visit new places that have been discovered. You can't really exhaust the places that you intend to come visit. So our arms are open. Come and enjoy, the serenity. Come and enjoy the sunshine. Come and enjoy the beauty of Ghana's hospitality. So you are welcome, and I wish you all the best. And again, also we are developing our black soap, and which very soon it will also hit American market. And then with your research and development team, maybe you can take it further, and the American know with the let's say the blacks. People will also enjoy having such a let's say soap or product in their homes to really glow their skin the more. Yeah.
Exactly. And getting back to just Ghana being so peaceful, the travel advisory rates Ghana as one of the most safest countries.
Sure.
So yeah, definitely don't believe the hype. Do your research and get with people and chat people up, because I had again a magical experience. It was phenomenal, and I am definitely going back, and I would don't have a negative thing to say about
Mm,
Ghana. So
great.
yeah, with that being said, yeah, I look forward to, well, particularly the shea butter soap that you guys are
Yeah.
developing, because we already
Yeah.
have some black soap, even though I know
Mm,
you're trying to build that out or enhance it. But we particularly are looking forward to the shea butter soap and
great.
helping you introduce that into our market. So,
Great.
Ken, if there isn't anything else, again, thank you for your time, and we'll be chatting
Welcome.
with you later.
Take care. Take care. All right. Bye bye.